Hey guys, how are you all? It's Bhav from Bhav Creates Art. How is everyone today? Hope you're all keeping well. It's Tuesday and I'm losing track of dates. So I just wanted to say, actually, before I carry on, I wanted to thank all my new subscribers for actually subscribing to my channel. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, and if you are somebody who's not subscribed yet and you see this video and you enjoy the kind of work I do, then do go ahead and subscribe to receive future notifications on notifications on future videos. There you go, I've said it. So yes, so do go ahead. So just a recap, so I am a resin and mixed media artist. I do have a separate resin art channel, so I will link the channel to this video in the description box below, so do take a look at that. There's nothing new in terms of videos which has been posted on that channel as of yet, but there will be, because I'm actually creating some collage works and applying resin. So I thought I might as well film those as I am doing for this channel, and then put it out there. Plus I'm working on other resin projects as well. Anyway, apart from that, in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is, well, let's just kind of recap again, because yesterday's video I did a vintage magazine video, and we did a flip through of I think it was 5 vintage magazines. So I really hope if you've seen that, or if you haven't seen it, then do go do take a look. The links to my other videos are in the description box already. Yeah, so that was my last video, and my plan for today's video was actually to do to work on my stamp book, where I stamp out images using my stamp punch and then pop them into what I call is my stamp book, collage book. So it's just an A6 sketch pad. It's got quite thick paper in here, and then I've just stamped out my images from magazines, and I've added them in. And I was going to do a vintage one for today's video, but I've decided to do this collage that I'm working on, and I thought, well, I might as well just you know, film it and share the process with you, because why not, right? It might be something else that you might be interested when it comes to using your magazine papers as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So this is the collage that I've been putting together using strips of magazine paper, and I'm going to go through the process as well. The process will be explained thoroughly in another video, because obviously so this is a completed piece. This is my very first piece that I did. So let me just explain what's on here. So these are strips of magazines, and the strips have come from my Gardener's World magazines, which we are going to be flipping through today to complete another collage project, which I've already started. And so what I focused on is the woodland kind of images, and I've chosen certain colour palettes from the magazine papers, and in the centre I've got the woodlands, and then I'm not sure if you can see, I just pop it closer, I'm not sure if it's too close to the camera, and then I've just gone round in a circle and added other images on as well. So in the first circle I've got the same image going around in strips, and the second circle I've got 3 different panels going on, 3 different what's the word for it, patterns going on in terms of the magazine strips. In the third circle I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different strips going on, and in the 1, 2, 3, 4 fourth circle I've got 1, 2, 3 4, I think I've got 4 again, 4 different strips going on in there. And then I've just finished off the edges with different coloured strips as well. I hope that makes sense, but it will make sense once I do another video, which is whereby I start the process right from the beginning. Do I make sense, guys? I hope I do. But I'll do my best to explain anyway. So we're going to be working on this one now today, and again it's using magazine strips as well. So slightly different than obviously the glue book inside, but we're still using magazine papers and we're still gluing them down onto, you can still glue these down onto paper. But in this particular project, I've got cardstock, and I will show you if I can see the cardstock. Bear with. So the cardstock that I'm working on is this luxury cardstock, which I got many moons ago from the works at £3, and it's 220 GSM, and it's got linen texture on here. It doesn't have to be textured. It's better if it's not really textured, to be honest, but this is all I had. It's beautiful paper, actually. Let me just zoom you back out a minute. It's really beautiful paper, but it is textured. So you've got the white in here, and then you've got the cream version in here as well. Not that you can probably tell in this light, but this is 12 by 12 paper. So it says 30.5 by 30.5, and you get 20 sheets in here, and it's 220 GSM, so it's quite weighted paper. Now, one of the tips that I'll share with you when putting this together is that you do need a square. Well, I'm using a square piece of paper to create this with. So you can go for 8-inch square or a 12-inch square or a 10-inch square. So I am going for, this is obviously a 12 by 12, right? So this is 12-inch. And what I do is I've got loads of strips in here which I've cut out, and then I've just put a paper clip and put them together. So once I've cut out the strips, which I'll go through in a second when we go through some pages, some magazine papers, I'll cut them into strips and I'll talk about the sizes. And then I'll put them together. So then I've got like a little colour palette going on here. So I've got different colours going on here, because to make this work, it's better to use different kind of colours in here as well, and different textures. And it will make sense as we go on. Excuse me. So do join me with the beverage of your choice. I've got my cup of tea. It's decaf tea today, so I'm trying to come off that coffee again. So join me with a beverage of your choice, and let's get this video started, right? So what I did actually is I tried to put a kind of like an instruction book, flip out book together, because I'm going to be doing classes on this particular method as well. So this is what I've created so far. So I've just put, I think this is 15 by 15 piece of card stock, and then I've got 3, and I've just used masking tape to put them into a panel. I can't remember what you call them now. Oh my gosh, trifold. And then what you'll do is you'll get your ruler and you'll measure across diagonally on that piece of paper, okay? Because you need some guidelines, okay? Then you put down your strips. So your first strip, and this won't make sense potentially until I actually show you in another video whereby I do the whole process from the beginning. But I'll do my very best in today's video. So the first strip goes diagonally across, so in the center, and you go diagonally across, and the second strip starts to overlap, okay? So let's see if I can show you. So let's just go with this. So if there's some strips of paper here, so if there was a diagonal line there, let's just imagine there's a diagonal line there, you'll put your strip in the center, and then your second strip here, let me see if I can zoom you in. So your strip goes diagonally across, and then your second strip will go overlap, and it's going to go diagonal, okay? So let's just get that closer to the camera, like that, okay? And then you keep going around until you've completed all the gaps, okay? But like I said, I will be doing another video where I start the process from the beginning. So you can watch that video. I've already started this piece, so I thought I'd just continue with the piece on camera. once you've done that first circle, you'll then move on to the second circle, which is demonstrated on this panel here. So you'll go again, you'll use your diagonal line, and then this, and then you'll overlap. But this time what you'll do when it comes to overlapping is, so you put your strip down on the line, and then what you're going to do is put your next strip down in the middle of the bottom area. Oh, completely off camera, sorry about that, guys. So you put your strip on that line there, and then you put your next piece in the middle, and then into the corner like that. Okay, so let me just do that again if I can. Let's, okay, I was going to flip it over to make it a little bit more. Let's see if I've got, yeah, okay, so diagonal there, and then you'll put your next piece on top, overlap it again, but you'll start it from the center there, and then you'll get to the corner. So it's middle at the bottom to the corner at the top. Okay, hope that makes sense, guys, and I do apologize if it doesn't. So so I've moved on from my second circle to my third circle, but the process is still the same. Okay, so we're going to continue. I just need, so for this particular one, like I said, I'm going to do 4 panels on here. I'm just going to put these pieces away, these little strips. And yeah, so I'm going to put these strips away, guys. I'll just pop that over there. And you can store all your strips of paper that once you've cut them into size, you can store all these into your origami boxes, which I showed you how to do in another video. So it's a fold away origami box. So it just opens and closes, and you can put all your strips in there. Super easy. So I could put all my strips in here like that, and you can have them in separate boxes as well of the same colour palette. So just another tip for you as well when it comes to storing all these bits of paper, because we all have plenty of bits of paper and scrap paper lying around, and it can get a little bit overwhelming. So if you've got some kind of storage system, it helps. Okay, so what we're going to do is put those pieces there. Okay, so I was just thinking about my next colour palette, and I was thinking about using, let me just move this piece out of the way because we need to find some more papers. I was thinking of using this piece as my next section, and I've already cut some strips here. Okay, so we'll kind of do that, we'll continue with that, and then we'll go through the magazine as well. So let's do that. And I will talk about how many strips you need as well. Okay, so when it comes to the dimensions of the pieces, before I go on to the dimensions or the measurements of the pieces, when it comes to this kind of collage, and if you're going to actually use a sealant on top, and you will have to seal the paper, if you're going to actually then apply resin, you definitely have to seal the paper, and I'd say seal the paper anyway. Okay, so going back to the piece I just showed you, which was, oh, sorry about that. So going back to this piece, I actually sealed this piece with Liquitex matte medium. Okay, so I've sealed it as well. You can use, as long as it's a sealant of some sort, that's all you need. You know, it can be glossy, a glossy sealant if you want to, but as long as it's a good sealant to seal the piece with, it just protects the paper, the magazine paper. And yeah, so let me pop that up there. So I'm going to be actually selling my work, because like I said, I'm a resin and mixed media artist. So these are my kind of practice art pieces right now. And you know, so a couple of tips before we carry on. Sorry, there is a lot of information. So you will need, so let's start from the beginning. You're going to need a square piece of cardstock or paper, just to practice, to start off your practice pieces, okay? And we're working on a 12-inch, so I'm going to give you the measurements of the pieces that you need for a 12-inch and an 8-inch potentially. I've only done a 12-inch so far, so and once I do the other sizes, I'll share those measurements with you. That's not a problem whatsoever. I will be, so practice on cardstock, putting your pieces down onto cardstock once you've done your guidelines on it. And then once you've mastered it, in terms of getting the nice circular pattern, you can then move on to art panel, which is what I'm going to be doing, and it's a class I'm going to be offering as well. So they're going to be they're going to be adhered onto art panels, and they're going to be sealed, the pieces, and then a coat of resin will be applied to the piece as well. So I'll show you all that on camera. So yeah, absolutely, don't forget to subscribe, because you will receive notifications on those videos, which are yet to come. So I will be doing the glue booking videos and the vintage magazines and all that kind of stuff, but I just need to work on this as well, alongside the glue booking side and the collaging side as well. So hopefully, and this is using magazine paper, and it's magazine art as well, so I thought it might be of interest to you folks. Let me know what you think anyway. Okay, so in terms of the length of the paper, you need to have your pieces, so the length going downwards is going to be 2 inches. Okay, so if I was to put that piece down here, you can clearly see, and you can't see because I'm off camera, hopefully you can see there that I'm cutting my pieces at 2 inches, and then when it comes to the width, it's 1/2 inch. Okay, so you can cut them 2 to 3 inches. So if you go for a bigger square, go up to 3 inches if you want to. So if it's probably like a 14-inch panel or 16-inch, then you need to go wider on your pieces, because it's going to cover more. For my 12-inch, I'm going at a 12-inch panel, I'm going at 2 inches on the length, and then for the width, I'm going at 1.5 inches. Okay, so that's 1.5 inches. Did I say 1.5 inches? Sorry, 1/2 inch. I'm going at 1/2 inch. Yeah, so 2 inches lengthwise and 1/2 inch widthwise. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so that's what you need in terms of the size for your 12-inch panels. Okay, so let's just kind of stick to that. So, so I'm going to cut this. I'm going to go for my length first. Make sure it's on the 2-inch score line, because these paper cutters are not always easy to read. So, okay, now what I'm going to do is, so that's 2 inch that way, and I'm going to cut them 2 inches this way as well. Okay, so I'm flip the paper over. All right, and now you could just go, you don't have to do that, you could just start cutting here. So we'll do one this way, one that way. Let's do that. Okay, so I'll flip my paper around so it's facing the right way up, and then I'm going to start, and what I've done is I've put a washi tape where the 1/2 inch score line is, or line is. Okay, so that just gives me a guideline as well. Okay, so there you go, that's one piece there, and so there's a lot of paper trimming. Okay, so we'll do a couple of these first, and then what we'll do, and then any leftovers, what I do is just put them in the bin, or you can use them for collages. Okay, so I've got those done. So now let's go into this section. So again, make sure your image is facing the right way up, and then start cutting into them. To be honest, you know, if the pattern's going that way, just go towards the pattern area. But if it doesn't matter which way it is, obviously, if there's no pattern on it. And it's okay to, you know, go upside down as well. It just makes your collage look more interesting, like we do in our glue book pages, right? So there we go. And I'm going to hold on to that strip because that's quite a big strip. It's a bit of an odd strip there. And then we're going to cut these up. Okay, so did I do? Yeah, that is right. Okay, so I'm going to go and do my length now at 2 inches. So I hope everybody's keeping well. It was a glorious day yesterday. It was around about 15 degrees, as I mentioned in yesterday's video or in my last video. Now be careful again with the paper trimmer, and I'm sure you're familiar with this. Sometimes when you're cutting, it does cut off a little bit, so just it cuts at an angle, so it's best to go that way on the paper trimmer, especially if it's smaller pieces, rather than cut that way, if that makes any sense. I'm going to see if I can no, this is not going to tidy itself up, so I'm just going to put it in my scrap pile there. Okay, so let's create some more. I hope this video makes sense, but like I said, I'll do another video whereby I'm starting from the beginning as well. We're kind of a quarter of the way through the piece that I'm creating right now, but I thought I'd just film this and show you guys just in case, and it gives you ideas as well. So yeah, so I'm looking to, like I said, you know, I teach classes using resin and also mixed media, and collaging is one of my mixed media classes. So, and you know, people always have magazine paper, so that's another thing, right? So when it comes to magazine paper, you don't want to, well, if you're just practicing and you're not going to apply resin, then by all means use any kind of free magazines that you can get your hands on, or any magazines you've got lying around at home, or any magazines that family members, you know, are given to you for free. So practice first, and don't get hung up about, let me just make sure that is, I thought that was a little bit wider. So yeah, make sure you practice first before you actually decide to do it, to actually, you know, sell your work if you want to, or to run them as classes, or whatever you choose to do with them. But if you're gonna actually sell your work, then yeah, going back to my point, I digress for a second, and I cut the piece exactly how I told you not to cut the piece. This is a bit oblong, so I'm not going to bother using that. So just double check the sizes of your pieces. So have a template, and then you can measure your pieces against the template to make sure that every piece is the same. Okay, I can usually tell now anyway, because I've done this a number of times. We'll do this one. Make sure that that's 2 inches in length, otherwise I'm wasting my time. So there's a lot of cutting involved. So yeah, so if you're going to sell your artworks, whether you resin them or not, then I would definitely recommend using higher end magazines. So coffee table books are fantastic, photography books are fantastic, art books could be consideration for sure, because they have good papers in them. And then what others? Vogue magazine and National Geographic. Okay, so they're the kind of magazines we're looking at. I'm just going to cut this way, make sure it's the right way. When it comes to creating this form of art and selling your artwork, okay? So National Geographic, Vogue, photography magazines, coffee table books as well, okay? Because of the quality of paper is fantastic, and is important, because, you know, especially if you're going to apply resin to your project, because or seal your work to give it a nice finish with resin, because the papers can absorb the resin and they can become transparent if you're using low quality papers. So just bear that in mind. But that's only if you're selling your pieces, right? Otherwise, you don't need to worry about that. Like I said, you can create these and you can just put them on your wall, frame them. You can turn them into book covers as well. So, you know, I could potentially turn what I've created already into a book cover if I chose to. Okay. So this is going to give you a lot of options, this particular technique. And it's not a new technique. It has been done by many resin and collage artists, so just want to put that out there. It's not my idea, so that you're aware that is a bit skewy, so I won't be using that. Okay, so there will be areas of margin when you're cutting your paper, so you know, let's just see if I can grow anything from that. Yeah, we've got something in here, so we'll use that. Put those scraps over there. So 2 inches. Make sure that's 1/2 inch on the, yep. Okay. Oops. Okay. See, can't use that now because there's a slight angle on that. If you can see that, guys. Just a slight angle. Put that in my scrap pile. Okay. So, yeah, so we've got all these already cut out from that piece that I initially showed you. So there's plenty in here. You can see. Oops. Yep. I've done loads here. There's absolutely loads. Okay, already. So let's now go through a gardening magazine and let's pick out some more colour palettes. Okay, because we're doing another botanical piece or forest stroke botanical piece. And I love doing floral artworks. There we go. So yeah, like I said, I do floral preservation work as well. I showed one of my pieces in my video. I'll show you a piece again. So here's one of my resin pieces. Don't know if you can see that, guys. So I've dried out the flowers, and then I've used deep casting resin to then turn them into this beautiful bird. So I do wedding flowers, I do birthdays, anniversaries, I do all sorts of occasions. So they're the kinds of videos that are going to be shown on my Resin Art channel as well. So yeah, so don't forget to subscribe to that channel as well, right? If you're interested in resin work or learning about resin, or you just enjoy watching resin artists create, you know, artworks. Okay, so I've got 2 magazines here. I'm going to zoom you out. So I've got the Gardener's World and the Gardener's World again, but this is June 2024 and this is August 2024. So let's go, which one? Let's go through this one first. Okay, and take a look and see what colour, what magazine pieces or pages we can get for our artwork. Okay. Oh, that is gorgeous. I do like that. So I will be taking that out. And I've got a scalpel. I've got a scalpel, which I tend to use, and then I've got this. I'm going to use this one, my crafting knife this time. See if that makes any... I don't usually get on with these crafting knives. I don't know why, but that's why I use my scalpel. But I thought I'd give it another go. No, see? Cut through. Not sure if it's me. So I don't have much joy with them, so I'm going to use my scalpel. Okay, that's better, kind of. So this is nice because it's got, I mean, obviously I could cut that pretty pink flower out if I wanted to and use that for a different project. But I've got all these greens in here which I could use in my collage. So I'm going to take that. So you've got a bit of a magazine flip through again today because we're trying to get some papers for my project. And this I got from Facebook Marketplace, so that you know. I love that yellow, but there's not enough of it. But I could use it for a centerpiece actually, or I could yeah. So just to kind of make you aware, I think I mentioned it already. So when I'm doing these pieces, so the centerpiece is one colour, and then the others are the same, but sometimes I like to mix up my pieces as well in between. So just to let you know, not sure if there's enough of this. Okay, that's a nice pink. So what I'll do is, let's see. Can't find my collage piece. That's weird. Okay, well let's just oh yeah. So I'm just looking at the piece that I've already started, and I'm looking at what are the colours. So that's a nice pink shade, but I've got a pink shade in there already. So I don't have this, like I said, we pulled this out. So I've got dark greens in here. Sorry if I'm going off camera, but I don't have this purple. So I'm kind of looking for purples maybe, and yellows. So I always take note of what you're looking for. You can take them out for another project anyway. I think I'll take this out because it is a nice light colour for my next piece. Ooh, so I'll take that out. So let's remove that. This purple's pretty. I'll leave that one in there. Oh, I love this. This is pretty. I think I will take that actually. So always look on the other side. Do we look on the other side of the other two? So yeah, you've got this. This is beautiful. Actually, nothing. So I could either take this or take this. Okay. So I'm going to take this out because I want this pink into my collage as well. Now it's a good idea to work in themes as well. So I'm going for like a botanical theme. My next piece will be an ocean theme. Okay, because I do a lot of well, I'm pretty much known for my ocean resin pieces, so that's what I do as well. So for example, let me just show you. So you can see that. So they're the kind of ocean platters I create and sell, and also teach people how to make in my classes. Gives you an idea. So let's have a look at some more. That yellow is gorgeous. Yes, I could use that yellow. It is pretty. That is very pretty. So let's take that. So we'll do as much as we can. So, oh, that is beautiful, that red. That red is beautiful. And what I'll do is try and nice green. Yep, take that one out. So we'll do a little bit of harvesting right now because I need some more papers for the collage piece. So do bear with, and hopefully I'll show you some of the process as well. I love this woodland, that's pretty. I love images like this. They're beautiful when there's trees and stuff because it gives a lot of texture to the collage as well. So I do love that. And I might use that actually. Oh, look at this collage. I'll take that because I wanted to use that in my glue book actually. I'll take that, yeah, I'll take it out now. So yeah, you probably find that if you're into kind of collage and glue books, that you're kind of looking for something for a particular project, and then you see other things for other projects, right? Which I've mentioned before. So I'll take that anyway. This is nice. I think, is it coming out anyway? Yeah, I'll take this out as well. And then, what else is there? So we were talking about themes, right? So these smaller pieces, just sidetracking again, these smaller pieces you can use for your centers, okay? So this center that I've created here, I've just used one colour, and this will be enough to cover that, because that centerpiece you only need, sorry guys if my voice is travelling off camera, so for the centerpiece you only need 7 pieces in total, so you could get away in using those. So I'm going to take that for future collage pieces I'm creating. I like this moss texture, that's beautiful, and I love this as well. So let's take that. Oh, okay. These are fantastic as well for centerpieces. I absolutely love them, they're bright. So one of the tips is to start off with darker colours in the centre if you want to. I don't think there's, you know what, you can do what you want really. That was what was advised, but it's up to you. You do you, is what I say. There's lots of, let's just take those out a second. I can use that to glue onto. Beautiful, love that. These are beautiful. The yellow is beautiful. So I love vibrant colours. And I'm flipping through this quickly so we can do some of the cutting and gluing. And I can show you how to overlap the images and the collage as well. That's beautiful green, so I'll take that green piece there. And of course, as I'm going through them, I'm thinking, oh, I could use these in my botanical flower, my secret garden glue book. Beautiful purple, I like that. That's going to have a lot of texture in there. What's that plant called? Black Magic Agapanthus. Beautiful. Love that. Don't forget to look on the other side of that page, because it could be something a lot better, or something that you prefer more so. So we're into, oh my gosh, look at these. These are beautiful. These are beautiful. My secret garden glue book. Beautiful shades of pink there. So I'll take that because there's not much going on the other side of that. That's a nice page there. You're probably saying, take that. Yes, you can take that. But I'm not going to. I don't think there's anything much. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of information and general stuff in here. So we've kind of covered that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to quickly flick through this one with you guys. So this is going to be quite a long video, potentially. But I do want to get the right colour palette. Oh, that is gorgeous. Love that. Definitely taking that out. That is pretty. I do like that. And, you know, sometimes you won't know if you've got the right image until you cut it out and you start layering the pieces down. So that's the other thing. I love that to bear in mind. Oh, look at that on that side. Oh, do love the purple. Could be a good contender for today's piece. Beautiful pink. And there's purple on that side too. Get that out. So it's a very quick flick through. I do like that. Yeah, I'll take that. But we're looking for materials for a collage. So, oh, I love that. Let's see what's on the other side of that. Nothing. Bonus. Absolutely love this pink. This is beautiful. I don't know if you can see that, guys. So the Gardener's World magazine is probably not one of the top end magazines when you're kind of creating pieces to sell, but you know, I'm doing a practice piece right now, so I'm good. I'm good with this. I love the greens in here. Beautiful. Love these tulips. That could work well for my next colour. Yeah, I've got that already. So beautiful shades of green. I've got greens, but I know where to go if I need some more. Should I take it out anyway, folks? I think I will, because then I don't have to waste time. So always kind of have, you know, and you create your own system when you know, when it comes to putting everything into piles, and when it comes to actually looking for the colours that you're after. So the more you do it, the better you're going to get, right? That is beautiful. I think I'll cut that out for my colour blue book, actually. That's beautiful. That's a good one to go for, so I'll take that as well. Let's see. So what is everybody up to this week? Anything exciting? You got any plans for this weekend? Oh, that's beautiful. I'm actually teaching this weekend. So I'm doing a resin beginners class where students actually create, am I in frame? Sorry guys. Where they actually create coasters. I hope I haven't been out of frame all this time, because that would have been good for you guys. If you're interested in the flip through at least. That's beautiful. So some of these are obviously blurred, but I do like that in the foreground. I think we're coming to the end of this one as well, guys, so we can get on with the next stage. Oh, I think we'll do that. Okay, let's pop that away. Okay, so let's have a look and see what page we want to actually go for next. Okay, so okay, so I've got pink. So let me just move these out the way so you can all see. I could add another shade of pink in there. So I could, but right now I'm going to pick out a piece which we're going to use straight away. I think I'm kind of going for this actually. Let's have a look. So I have cut out some templates, okay, with the measurements, and I've cut these out using my Cricut machine, my Cricut maker. So again, I've measured, I created a rectangle which is the size of my paper or the cardstock I'm putting in, and then I've put the measurements in for the rectangles, so it gives me a visual, and I could actually cut all my rectangles out. And you can do this if you've got a die cutting machine as well. Silhouette or Maker, or whichever one. I'm not really knowledgeable in that area. I just have a machine and I use it to create templates with and other things with. So this gives me an idea of what colours I could actually gain from here. And what I could do is you know, like I said, I could use my Cricut because it'll cut exactly these ones out, and this is what I'm going to get once they cut out. But there's a lot of wastage as well. So if I kind of use my paper cutter, then there's less wastage. So I could be using, you know, so there's two ways of looking at it. So this time I'm just going to use the paper cutter and not my machine. And also the thing is that, you know, magazine paper, the blades in the cutting machine could be too heavy for this type of paper as well. So it could rip, you know, it's all to do with settings really. So that's kind of images I'm going to get from that. And I'm going to think, okay, if they're the kind of images I could potentially get, this, you know, then what's it going to look like on my paper there? And I think it looked really good. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not going to go for the other ones actually, because I like to show you the process as well. So let's put these ones away. I'll go through them later. So let's start cutting these down, guys. Okay, so we'll get the paper trimmer out again. And you could just use your scissors, you don't have to have a paper trimmer. I'm just going to tidy up the edge of this magazine first of all. So let's do that first. Okay, and you don't have to do this part either, it's just something that I do. Okay, so I know there's some writing there, but I won't worry about that too much, but I will cut off this part here. And yeah. Okay. So let's go for, let me just cut this. Yeah. So okay, let me just cut this off here. Actually, I will get rid of that. So I'm trying to save as much of the paper that I want to use in my collage as possible. I don't need that. Okay, so now let's cut this into lengthwise. I'm going to go for the 2 inches. Okay, and 2 inches that way. Hopefully I'm on camera, guys. I really do apologise if I go off camera. It's when I'm focusing, that's when I go off camera. Okay. So let's start cutting into these. Okay, so the image as a whole always is going to look different, right? And when you obviously cut down your images, you're not going to see as much potentially, unless they're vibrant, super vibrant, or they've got a lot of texture, or there's something interesting. And that's another thing. So if you can pick some interesting papers for your, you know, collage pieces, it's obviously going to make the piece more interesting, right? But again, like I said, you know, it's just a matter of kind of giving it a go, practicing and having fun with it initially, and seeing if you like this form of collaging as well. Let me just see if that's not cut straight, so I'll have to get rid of that. So we had two inches going that way. I'm just double checking, guys, to make sure my measurements are right, which, yeah, they are. Okay, so we're going to do half a strip. Okay. So we are obviously going almost into 16 minutes, which is, it's a long video, and I try and keep my videos short, but it's not always possible, especially when you're doing a full-on kind of, well, it's not a full-on process piece, but it is a process piece, I guess. So, and then let me just do this. Let me do a couple of these because this yellow is quite striking. This is what I really wanted, really. I should have cut those out first, maybe. Okay. So let's do that. Yeah, because the width of these are quite, half an inch is nothing. So then, obviously the image has definitely shrunk. And it's all exciting when you're picking out your images, but again, it depends on the images, because if you've got a template like I've just showed you, it gives you a better idea of what you're going to get when you start cutting into it. That wasn't cut straight, so I'll just put that into that pile there. So let's just see. And then we'll do a bit of gluing down so I can show you the kind of pattern we're going for. This looks a bit crooked, so I'm just going to look at that. I think it is a bit crooked. Okay, I'm going to put that over there a second. I don't know why these are crooked, guys. I guess it happens. Let me just see. I think we'll stop there. Okay, let's stop there. So, and I'll carry on after this video as well. Or we could do a part 2, potentially. Okay. Right. Let's bring the piece back. And here is the piece. So I'm going to continue around this circle, working on this circle, if you can just see that. Okay, and I'm going to start gluing things down. So I'll sip of my tea. So we're going to go for the yellow. Okay, and we're going to add on. So let's see if I can zoom it in a little bit and get it into camera. Okay, so you're going to start your piece. It's going to go, if I can put it into the camera. So the center point of that last piece, and then to the corner of that last piece. And we're going to start gluing, okay? So let us do that. Shall we do that, guys? Let's do that. Okay, so I'm just going to use a bit of scrap right now. And where's my glue? I'm using the Yoo-Hoo glue stick to glue the pieces down with. So that's, and then obviously, like I said, what I'll be using in the piece that I'm going to be creating to sell is probably matte medium or yes paste, and I'll show you those when I actually do a full on. I picked the wrong piece, haven't I? When I do a full on video. So let's go this way. Yeah. Okay, so middle of the piece, guys. Am I in frame? Am I in frame? Okay, middle of the piece, the center of the piece to the corner. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is use the next piece. Okay, let's just zoom out a minute. Apply glue to the entire piece, and then I'm going to orientate this, so I'll probably turn it upside down so it looks slightly different. So center of the last piece to the corner of the last piece. Okay, and we're trying to follow the circle. So let's do that. And you could use a different shade if you want to, if you didn't want to carry on with this, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Okay, so let's see what else I've got. Let's go for a pink. Should we go for pink? So you kind of like auditioning your pieces as well. Okay, that's cool. So I'm going to use this piece here if you can see that. Yeah, so again, center of the piece, last piece, and you're overlapping on the bottom layer. by the way, to the corner of the last piece. Okay, so you're overlapping a little bit. All right. Is that glued down? Nope, don't think it is. And you do need to make sure that the pieces are glued down, okay, thoroughly, which can be a challenge for me at times. I'm going to have some more glue. Turn it upside down, give it a different, so just slightly overlapping on the inner circle, on the circle below it, going to the center and going to the corner of the last piece. Okay, just slightly overlapping again. And obviously if you get it wrong, you can just move the piece a little bit, because glue will give you a little bit of working time as well, right? So let's yeah, so audition your pieces as well. There is no rushing here. Take your time in cutting, choosing your papers, gluing them down. So it's quite it's very relaxing actually to do this form of art. I found it really relaxing. Once you know the measurements and you know how to place all the images and how many you need of each image. So I've written, and like I said, I will be doing a full-on process piece. Just bear with me, sorry a second, I think my phone was playing up. So I've written down all my sizes and the layers. So I've done my first circle, then my second circle, and I'm on my third circle. So you know, for the first row I've got 23 pieces, and for this row here I need 16. For the next row it's 21, and then it's 11. Okay, it doesn't always work out, you know, in terms of, because it depends on where they finish up as well, if that makes any sense. But you don't want to get too hung up about it. I think it's enjoying the process and then seeing what else you can create, what outcome you've got and how you change it. So it's also about the learning curve as well. Highly valuable. Let me know if you'd like to see more resin pieces. I'm happy to show you some more of my artworks, not a problem. And if you're interested in, you know, like I said, I've got a resin channel whereby I need to add some more videos on, so I will be doing that. Let's go for a yellow next. Yeah, that looks pretty. So orientation is important when you're putting the pieces down, so you can have some upside down, so facing the right way, and the next piece facing upside down, just to give it interest, added interest to your piece. Okay, there we go. Oh. Okay, so I said I needed 16, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I said 16. So I've got 10 more to go, which is fine. Fine by me. Okay, and you soon get into the rhythm of it. So, and it can take you some time to do the whole piece as well, especially if you're starting out initially, because like I said, you're doing all the cutting, you're working out how many you need and all the rest of it. I'm just gonna, yeah, okay, looking good here. So let's get another yellow, yellow, mellow yellow. What's your favourite colour, guys? I do love yellow. So I'm slightly overlapping on to that inner circle below. Placing this piece in the centre and to the top corner. Okay, and okay, we're going into an hour, folks, so I might have to stop it shortly, very shortly in fact, because going into the hour mark, which is a long time for a video. I mean, what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer long videos? Do you prefer short videos? Do let me know in the comments box below. You know, do you want me to do, yeah, short videos, or are you not bothered? It'd be nice to know. Obviously, the longer the video, the more you're going to learn as well, because, you know, I like to do more process videos as well for you guys. So definitely do let me know. Okay, and don't forget to press that like button as well, folks. Okay, so we'll finish in a moment. I keep saying that, but it's quite addictive. Once you get started, you really don't want to stop. Make sure you put the glue on the right side of the image you want to show, not on the wrong side. Let's put this over here, so slightly overlapping and to the corner. Okay, so you can see it's forming a circle, but it might not end up finished like that. But that's the plan. That's the aim. Okay, some slightly overlapping. Placing it in the corner. Let's just move that a little bit this way. And you can turn it that way as well, so you can see your shape as well. So do, you know, turn your piece around so you can see the shape that you're forming as well. Would be helpful. So to the middle and to the corner. Oops. Add some more glue to that. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video, the Vintage Magazines video, guys. Like I said, my plan was to do a follow-up video based on that, but I thought I'd share this process with you today as well. So, yeah, let's just go with that, I think. Yeah. This will be the last piece, guys, and then we'll call it a video. We'll call it a day. There you go. So yeah, so that's what we have so far. So we've just created that, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I need another 2 on here, I think. So I'll add those 2 on and cut some more pieces out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know what other future videos you'd like me to show you, and if you want to see some resin videos as well. Like I said, I have another channel, but I will be applying resin to the projects that we're creating on this channel as well. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day today, and I'll see you all shortly in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.